All right, Coach, and your lease options at 24 months with only $1,000 as your initial investment would be $387 to $396, or at 36 months with only an initial investment of $1,000, your payment would be $312 to $321. Circle and initial the one that's best for you, and we'll get it ready for delivery.
Steve, I don't know about leasing. I've just heard an awful lot of bad things
Okay.
about leasing.
Coach, I understand. As a matter of fact, about 95% of the people I talk to say exactly the same thing. Some of them are a little more dogmatically anti-leasing than you are, so I appreciate that. Leasing is quite misunderstood. It's misunderstood by most of us in the car business, and it's also definitely misunderstood by most people who are consumers. And it's misunderstood because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Plus, leasing has dramatically changed over the years. It used to be quite the trap. Low payment now, devastating financial ramifications down the road. That's just not the case anymore. What I've done is I've put together a list of things here that sort of give you an overview, and then I'm going to ask you some questions that will help you determine for yourself whether leasing is the right move or purchasing is the right move. It takes about 5 minutes to go through this. Can we go ahead and do that, Coach, and help you make the right decision for you?
Sure.
Okay. Number one, leasing avoids automobile ownership risks and increases cash flow. What that means is when you buy an asset, there's always the risk that at some time in the future, you're going to want to get rid of that asset and it's going to be worth a lot less than you owe on it, okay? With leasing, you're not going to have that risk because you're not on the hook for the value of the vehicle. The leasing company is, Honda Finance in this particular instance. And when I talk about increasing cash flow, I mean for 2 reasons. Number one, to lease a vehicle normally requires a little less initial investment of cash, and it also requires a lot less investment of cash on a monthly basis. Now, leasing lowers your payments in most cases. Not all cases, but in most cases. You have the option to drive a new car more often and drive a new car with more options more often. You will lower your maintenance costs. Here at Curry Honda, your oil changes for the next 3 years or 36,000 miles are included. Okay, so you're not going to pay for any of those. Now, if you drive 15,000 miles a year and you change your oil every 5,000, I'm going to guess that that's 6, that's 9 times 30, that's $270 in oil changes alone. That cash stays in your pocket. That's another cash flow item. Now, rarely, if ever, will you have a repair bill, and that's because most people drive the vehicle while it's under not just the comprehensive warranty, but almost certainly the powertrain warranty. You get gap coverage included. Gap takes care of the difference between what one owes on a car and what one's car is worth if it's totaled or stolen. Okay? Meaning a year down the road, if someone stole your car and the insurance company decided it was worth $20,000 but you owed $25,000 on it, well, you'd be on the hook for $5,000 and you wouldn't have a car. With leasing, that doesn't occur. When it's time to trade a vehicle, you don't have to worry about negative equity or the hassle of trading in a car. And you get $1,500 worth of wear and tear from Honda, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Basically, it's $500, $500, and $500. If you got a $500 bit of damage on your car, don't worry about getting it fixed. Honda will take care of it. If you got 3 spots with 500 apiece, don't worry about it. Honda will take care of that for you. But here's sort of the acid test, all right? You answer these questions, and this will help you decide for you whether you should lease or not. Let's start right down here. Well, let's look at reasons you shouldn't lease. Now, do you like higher monthly payments, and do you like putting a lot of cash into a depreciating asset?
No.
Okay. Do you like negative equity? Meaning, would you like to trade in a car that you owe more on it than it's worth?
No.
Okay. You like to keep your cars for 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 years?
Not really.
Okay. Do you like to pay off your car? Well, most people do. However, Do you like the increasing maintenance costs that come with a vehicle that's older and has more miles on it?
No,
All right, yeah, I'm gonna guess you don't like unexpected and surprising high repair bills, do you?
no,
Coach, do you customize your car at all?
no, not really.
And I'm gonna guess you don't look like a fellow that's really into paying more taxes, right?
Correct.
Okay. People that dig all this stuff probably should buy. However, on the other hand, do you enjoy driving a new car every 2, 3, 3.5 years?
Yeah, it's not really important, but yeah,
Okay.
it'd be nice.
All right. Do you want high payments or low payments?
No, low payments.
Okay. Do you like having a car that's got the latest in safety and technology features and is almost always under factory warranty?
Well, the technology stuff is not bad, but I like the under warranty bit.
Okay. Do you find it a blast to trade and sell used cars?
No.
Okay. Do you want to protect and conserve your cash?
Sure.
All right. And I'm going to guess you dislike negative equity.
Right.
All right. You want to pay fewer taxes and have someone else pay for your gap coverage.
Sure.
And lastly, if you trade in a car that you own and there's damage to it, one of two things is going to happen. Either the people buying the car from you are going to deduct it from the value of the car, or you're going to have to get it fixed, or you're going to turn it into an insurance claim and have your insurance rates go up. With a leased car, as I explained over here, Honda will give you $1,500 worth of forgiveness, but that has to be over 3 separate, different pieces of damage. If you've got one great big $1,500 damage, they're only going to give you $500 worth of forgiveness. Okay, so I'm going to guess you'd rather have somebody else pay for the body damage as opposed to you, correct?
Sure.
All right. Now, one big question: what do I own? Well, let's say you purchase this car. And by the way, if you want to, that's perfectly fine with us. At the end of 36 months, if you finance it for 60, what do you own?
What do I own? Nothing.
No. What you've got is an obligation to make 24 more monthly payments. If you choose to lease it, at the end of 36 months, what you have is you own 4 separate and distinct options. Number one, if you have decided that this is all the more that you want to drive this particular Honda and you want to look at a 2016 model, well, you just turn it in and you shop for the new model. Now, if it turns out that that vehicle has cured the common cold, helped you attract more chicks than you ever could have imagined you could have attracted, and you want to keep it, guess what? You can buy it for a price that we will tell you today. So we will guarantee the future value of that vehicle. Number 3, if it turns out that vehicle is worth significantly more than what the guaranteed future value is, you can sell or trade it and you pocket the cash. Number 5, if you want a few more months to think about it, with Honda Finance's permission, you can extend the lease. Basically, you only pay for what you use. You are in complete control. So, having said all that, which makes more sense to you? A 36-month payment at $312 to $321 to lease it, or a 60-month payment at $455 to $465 to purchase it?
Steve, let me ask you a question. Suppose after 22 months or something, a new car comes out and I want to trade that car in. Now, what do I have to do? Do I have to get Honda's permission, or?
Well, as a matter of fact, you don't need Honda's permission, but there are some mitigating circumstances, okay? This is month 1, this is month 36. Let's say that we're looking at a $15,000 guaranteed future value, okay? That's at the end of 36 months. At 22 months, all right, you've got 14 months worth of payments left. An easy way to calculate this is take the 14 times what your payment is and add it to what the guaranteed future value, and that is going to be what you owe on that car at that particular point in time. Now, depending on what that car is worth, you may have equity, you may not. But we will be glad to look at it at any point in time during the lease and give you all of those numbers. But it's crystal clear. You know what the 36-month guaranteed future value is? Add the number of payments you've got left on top of that, and that's normally going to be what your payoff is. And if the payoff is less than what the car is worth, you've got equity. If it's just slightly south of it, you may have some negative equity, but then the choice is yours. Like I said, you remain in complete control. Which one makes more sense? The high purchase payment or the low lease payment?
So always.
Just need you to initial that and okay it.